Early in the morning, the chief priests, the elders, and the teachers of the law, and the whole Sanhedrin made their plans. So they bound Jesus, led him away, hand him over to Pilate. "Are you the King of Jews?" "You have said so," Jesus replied. The chief priest accused him of many things. So again, Pilate asked him, "Aren't you going to answer? See how many things are accusing of you." But Jesus made no reply, and Pilate was amazed. Now it was custom at the festival to release prisoners whom the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd came up, asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did. "Do you want me to release you, the King of Jews?" asked Pilate, knowing it was out of self-interest that the chief priest had handed Jesus over to him. But the chief priests stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead. "What shall I do then with the one that you call King of Jews?" Pilate asked him. "Crucify him," they shouted. "Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they all shouted, "Crucify him." Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate asked Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. The soldiers had led Jesus away into the palace and called together a whole company of soldiers. They put a purple robe on him and twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him. They began to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Again and again. They struck him on the head with the staff and spit on him. Failing on their knees, they paid homage to him. And they had mocked him. They took him off the purple robe and then put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing on his way in from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. They brought Jesus into the palace called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it, and they crucified him, dividing up his clothes. They cast lots to see each would get. It was 9 in the morning when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." They crucified 2 rebels with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their hands and saying, "So you are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days. Come down from the cross and save yourself." In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him among themselves. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. Let this Messiah, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those crucified with him also helped on insulting him. At noon, the darkness came over the whole land until the 3 in the afternoon, and at 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out loud, Eloi, Eloi, lema sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? For some of those standing near heard this, they said, listen, he's calling Elijah. Some ran, filled with sponge, wine, or vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it Jesus to drink. Now leave him alone, let's see if Elijah comes to him down, he said. With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and when the centurion who stood there in front of Jesus saw how he died, he said, surely this man was the Son of God. Some women were watching from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James the younger, and Joseph and Solomon. In Galilee, these women had followed him and cared for his needs. Many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem were also there. It was preparation day, that is the day before the Sabbath. So as evening approached, Joseph of Arimathea, a prominent member of the council, who was himself waiting for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Pilate, surprised to hear that he was already dead, summoning the centurion, he asked if Jesus had already died. When he learned from the centurion that it was so, he gave the body to Joseph. So Joseph took some linen cloth, took down the body, wrapped it in the linen, and placed it in the tomb cut out of the rock. Then he rolled a stone against the entrance of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, saw where he was laid,